All right, let's get into this problem. If you have any problems, you can send them on Instagram at gangsterphilosopher. The point of this channel, or at least my focus, is to make you think. As I go into this problem, I share my perspectives. That's the only, I think, goal or mission that I'm chasing. At least once during the video, you should feel like, oh, this is new, or this was interesting. That's it. Novelty. Okay, so the problem is, I don't have goals, basically. A person is really troubled that they don't have goals and they're 19. The expectation that you're supposed to have very clearly defined goals at 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, I don't know, whichever age you may find yourself in, comes from an expectation from a lot of stories that you've heard in which the person has figured out what they wanted to do with utmost clarity. When you hear such stories and you find yourself like the same age, it's confusing. It's sort of also pressurizing. I don't know what I want to do. I don't have any clarity. Everybody around me seems to be working on something very intently, maybe. I don't know. It also depends on the geography, the environment that you are in. So, for example, if you are in Eastern countries, if you are surrounded by a bunch of very competitive people who are studying very hard, it doesn't matter even if they're goal-oriented or they have any clarity on or any confirmation on that this is what they actually want to do. They have logged themselves onto one thing and they're just pursuing it. There could be that as well. So how do you pursue this? So first, you have to understand this expectation largely is a myth. It's a myth. Sure, there are people like that, but that's not the majority. I wouldn't say that's even the 90% of the people. Except that you don't know and you're not supposed to know. It's not dependent on, well, chance or predestination. It is entirely dependent on how you see, how you assess whatever resources you have available, and what you make of it. Let's just apply the same formula. You should start with at least temporary goals, because not doing anything is the worst thing. Not doing anything and just sitting with the hope that things are going to come to you is basically setting up major disaster for your 23, 24, 25, 26 year old. You have to build some things upon which you can at least acquire some form of financial freedom, some form of financial satisfaction by the time you're 23, some form of financial hope for yourself. Otherwise, you'll just be doing the most desperate things available to you because so many options that could have been available, you have now exhausted them. Set temporary goals for now. When you say temporary, give yourself at least some space that, okay, maybe I will find the purpose of my life and I don't know it right now, so I'm going to look at it diplomatically. Since I don't know, it's okay. I'm going to leave this space open for discovery in the future. Meanwhile, what I'm going to do is, whatever I have, I'm going to do the most of it. Temporary goals, which means that they could change. Even if they have the property of, let's just say, impermanence, I'm going to do them very strongly. They're not trivial. They're not a backup plan. Skills, interest, intellectual. Skills, yes, because vocationally, like I said, you don't want to be sitting at 23, 24 without any skills. And then being forced into jobs that you don't want to do, but now you're being forced into them because you have to do something. So pick a skill or two. Whichever you want, whichever based on tiny inclinations you have over anything, pick them and start mastering them. That is the goal. You're 19, master something. So by the age of 23, 24, you have mastered at least one thing in your life. And if you've done that, you don't have to ever worry about where would money come from. This question, this particular skill that you have mastered will feed you, will take care of a lot of things financially related to basically supporting yourself. Second, interest. What do I mean by interest? Find physical goals. I'm assuming that you work out. You've written in your problem that I work out. Okay, cultivate that. Maybe, from just weightlifting, see what particular things there are. More in the domain of working out, exercising, sports, that I like very much. Cultivate that thing as well. Skills, interest, intellect. This is a holistic approach in which you basically take care of three things, three major aspects of your life: mind, body, finance. Finance is, okay, I'm going to master one or two skills. Now body, find a great love in there. Find whichever thing that you know that you would like to do well into your 40s. If it's cycling, good for you. If it's this or that, I don't know. Find a joy. Find a thing that you do because you enjoy it, not because there is a goal attached to it, not because there is an outcome for which you're doing it. Because a lot of people work out because I want to gain this, achieve this and that. No, just doing it should be the goal. Because if you make the activity some sort of medium, some sort of means to an end, then the end is the goal. And the day you have found that goal or have achieved the goal or are uninterested in the goal, you are demotivated by the goal, this activity you might abandon. You might not see any utility in that because you were only doing it as to achieve this particular thing. Fuck that thing. Fall in love with the activity. So if it's yoga, and that's the thing, a lot of people who are in love with yoga are in love with the philosophy, with the act of doing it. The outcomes may come, whatever they are, good for you. But you're doing the thing because that thing has a personal connect with you. The same thing applies to intellectual. You're 19, welcome to the world. Now find a subject, find a topic, find a stream. And just for the fun of it, for the sake of your intellectual cultivation, for the sake of just knowing that you have a brain, knowing that you have cognition, knowing that you have thoughts, which means something ought to be advanced in this domain. Something ought to be fed to this major organ. This something has to come out of curiosity. So you need to cultivate that. And these are conscious decisions. Nothing is ever going to be automatically handed to you. There will be no realizations in which, suddenly all these three things that I just said will be automatically just handed to you. Not going to happen. These are active decisions that you make. This is clever thinking employed to live a smart life. In long term, these three things, if you actually inculcate into your life right now, they will help you in the very long term of your life. You will be doing these three things even by 40. A lot of people in their 30s and 40s have this problem. They don't have any idea what is their thing because they never explored. So start exploring. At 19, you're at a beautiful age. Secondly, as I've already mentioned, very few people have this epiphany that we may be chasing in our mind with 100% clarity that one day you will have this, immediate realization that this is who I am. Not going to happen. Also, I would advise don't chase this. Focus on creating your own conditions instead of life creating conditions for you. A lot of people are disappointed at life, and I meet these people every single day. Whatever they were optimistic about, whatever they had created in their minds, this is how it should have happened, this is how this thing should have been, this is the problem with my office, my workplace, and da. Well, you have to create the conditions from the conditions that life gives you. It's a lot of flexibility. It's a lot of basically re-strategizing. It's a lot of basically taking data as it is and then seeing what I can do with it, which basically satisfies me as well. It aligns me with reality. Start creating your own answers, my mate. Don't sit on your butt. And I'm glad you reached out to me. So I'm assuming this is your first step to creating answers. Third, you're 19. I've given you the 3 subsets: skills, interests, intellect. So if let's just say you're trying to find what my goal is, what my purpose is, there is a chance that you may find something which has 50% likability, desirability, and it's approachable, it's practical. And based on the other things that you have, let's just say something is at 37%, something is at 26%, something is at 20%, something is at 19%, something is at 0%, something is at 5%. That's how things are going to be. So you choose the thing that has the highest percent of desirability. You like it, you like to do it. It gives you some sort of, it engages you, it stimulates you, and it attracts you, captures your focus for the longest. You're able to focus on it, you're able to engage in it, you're able to have ideas, you want to educate yourself on this. When you are home, you like to study articles, you like to just read about it. That's it. So nothing is going to be 100%. Things are going to be 60, 50, 47, something of that sort. Look for that. That is data. However the structure is in front of you, start fucking with it. Start picking things up, start rotating them, start seeing them from different angles. Start doing things. Because however they look right now, they have been placed not by you. So they have not been placed for you either. So you cannot just look at things from a distance and make conclusion based on their position from your vantage point. They were not kept for your viewership. You have to go there, pick them up, look them, inspect, maybe experiment, and then come up with your own conclusions. So you have to try multiple things. So the first point, set temporary goals, basically is a very active, work-oriented advice. start doing those things heavily. And the more you find, the more data you will basically collect about things. You will have more clarity on, okay, which decisions I need to make, which choices I need to make, which things I need to abandon, which things I need to stay away from, to move closer to long-term happiness, to move closer to mental health, to move closer to financial freedom. I hope this video helps. Please send your problems at Gangster Philosopher on Instagram. Also do follow, do subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much.